Good morning, Pilgrim. It's a good morning here in Hillsboro. It's partly cloudy, partly sunny, and it's fairly warm for what it has been lately. It's 44. So many days here. We're in the 30s in the morning. Kind of wonder if it's spring or not. When's spring gonna get here? When's spring? Today we'll begin with Romans 5, 6 through 11. For while we were still weak, at the right time Christ died for the ungodly. For one will scarcely die for a righteous person, though perhaps for a good person one would dare even to die. But God shows his love for us in that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. Since therefore we have now been justified by his blood, much more shall we be saved by him from the wrath of God. For if while we were enemies, we were reconciled to God by the death of his Son, much more now that we are reconciled shall we be saved by his life. More than that, we also rejoice in God through our Lord Jesus Christ, through whom we have now received reconciliation with God. It wasn't easy to come by. Jesus had to suffer. This sermon was delivered on Sabbath morning, April 22nd, and here today is April 21st. It was 1855 in Exeter Hall in Strand. Romans 8:7. The carnal mind is enmity against God. Well, Pilgrim, let me suppose an impossible case for a moment. Let me imagine a man entering heaven without a change of heart. He comes within the gates. He hears a sonnet. He starts. It is to the praise of his enemy. He sees a throne, and on it sits one who is glorious. But it's his enemy. He walks streets of gold, but those streets belong to his enemy. Yeah, he sees hosts of angels, but those are the servants of his enemy. He is in an enemy's house, for he is at enmity with God. He could not join the song, for he would not know the tune. There he would stand silent, motionless, till Christ should say with a voice louder than 10,000 thunders, "What doest thou here? Enemies at a marriage banquet? Enemies in the children's house? Enemies in heaven? Get thee gone, depart ye cursed into everlasting fire. Fire in hell." Oh, sirs, no pilgrim, if the unregenerate man could enter heaven, I mention once more the oft-repeated saying of Whitefield, he would be so unhappy in heaven that he would ask God to let him run down into hell for shelter. There must be a change if you consider the future state, for how can enemies to God ever sit down at the banquet of the Lamb? How? And to conclude, let me remind you, and it is in the text after all, that this change must be worked by a power beyond your own. An enemy may possibly make himself a friend, but enmity can't. If it be but an adjunct of his nature to be an enemy, he may change himself into a friend. But if it is the very essence of his existence to be enmity, positive enmity cannot change itself. No, there must be something done more than we can accomplish. And Christ did it. The Lord Christ has done for us much more than he commanded his disciples to do for their enemies. What did he command his disciples? Luke 6:27-28. But I say to you who hear, love your enemies. Do good to those who hate you. Bless those who curse you. Pray for those who abuse you. Enmity. In case you don't completely understand the meaning of the word enmity, I have some other words here that are enclosed in it. Hostility. Hostility toward God. Animosity toward God. Antagonism. Friction. You're always rubbing God the wrong way. Antipathy. God rubs you the wrong way. Antipathy. Animus. Opposition to God. Dissension. Rivalry. Yeah, rivalry. You want to be God yourself. Feud. Fighting against God all the time. Conflict. Fighting God. Discord. Contention. Acrimony. Bitterness. Rancor. Resentment. Aversion. Dislike. Ill feeling. Bad feeling. Ill will. Bad blood. All of us got bad blood. We got Adam's blood. We need the new Adam's blood. We need to be born again. Hatred. Hatred of God. Hate. We hate God. Loathing. Detestation. Abhorrence. Odium. That's a frightful word. Odium. Odium. Malice. Malice. Toward God. Spite. Spiteful. Spiteful of God. Venom. Yeah. Poison. Poison in our soul. We love to poison God. Malevolence. Malignity. Grudges. We all got a grudge against God. God don't treat us right, we say. Grievances. Needle. We love to needle God. We love to say that horrible word every once in a while. Several horrible words. God's name in vain. Instead, let's have friendship. Let's have goodwill. Let's have a love of God. Well, I've probably carried on enough, Pilgrim. God bless. Have a great day. A blessed day.